Hey everybody, welcome back to the Full Circle Network. I'm editor-in-chief of FullCircleCinema.com, Jackson Hayes, and today we are here to review the first three parts of the CW's Crisis on Infinite Earths. And today I'll be joined by my lead news writer, Jacob Campbell.
Oh my god, this is crazy. Am I going first?
Well, you're introing first. We'll see how the rest of it goes.
This is crazy. Hey everybody, it's me, Jacob Campbell. I'm the lead news writer over at Full Circle Cinema, and we're also joined this week by Colin Stetzner.
Hey guys, it's Colin, and Jacob sucks, but more importantly, we're joined by Lucas today.
Hi, this is Lucas. Lucas Talbot. I'm a news writer. This is my first time on the podcast.
Yep, this is very special. Lucas's first time on the pod, and we're here to review, this massive event. So, we're gonna get into it and give us our thoughts on the first three episodes. A lot to unpack here. So, let's just start. How about we start this way? Let's start kind of your everyone's backstory on the CW, I guess, in general, and like what they keep up with and like what they've been watching. So Jacob, we'll start with you. What have you been watching? Because I know you didn't watch much.
Yeah, so I started watching the CW when the Arrowverse was like big, when all the shows had just been coming out, and I've kind of been like falling off. Mostly, I've kept up with all the crossovers, and also because of the site, and I keep track of all the set photos and leaks. I pretty much know what's going on in all the shows, but I just haven't watched it in forever. Where I'm at with all the shows, I stopped watching Flash after the third season. Same with Legends. I'm currently on season 3 of Arrow. I've watched none of Batwoman, and I've seen like 2 episodes of Supergirl. Like I said, I've seen all the crossovers, so I know everything going on with that. And I also have a lot of, I write Crisis on Infinite Earths, so I already knew so I know about the event. So I felt comfortable going into it.
Okay, so you watch basically nothing. Got it. Okay, Colin?
Yeah, pretty much. But I know what's going on.
Yeah, okay, maybe. You don't have emotional context.
Okay.
Exactly, Jacob sucks.
Okay.
But,
okay. Felicity bad. There we go. That's all.
So I started with Flash Season 1 and Flash Season 2, because I hadn't watched it, and when I finally started watching it, they were both out at the same time, so I was able to do that, and then I thought, I like that, so I jumped over into Arrow, and I'm caught up on Arrow. And I watched a couple seasons of Legends. No Supergirl, no Batwoman. And I stopped Flash after season 3 because Savitar sucked so bad.
Same.
I would say that's fair. All right, Lucas, I know you're a big fan of CW, so what have you watched in preparation for this?
So I started at season 1 of Arrow. Been keeping up with that, and then same thing for the Flash. I kept up with that, and then Legends kept up with that since season 1. I stopped at season 2 of Supergirl. It kind of fell off there, and then Batwoman. I got one episode in, but I couldn't keep up with that. And then Black Lightning, I finished one season, but I haven't got that far into the next 2 seasons. But I'm pretty much caught up for the most part. And I read Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah, see, Lucas went in hard, like I did, because I went into full preparation mode for this thing.
Now, okay, let's
here we go.
Here we go. That Jackson's
I watched
done.
everything.
Kids, I think I've heard about this every day.
I watched all of Smallville.
The past 7 years of my life. Anything
was
Jackson's
there
watching
from
or
day
reading
one.
or doing to prepare for Crisis.
Oh my god, dude.
Who hadn't already
watched-
read Infinite
I'm surprised you
Crisis
didn't
on
watch
Infinite
Birds of Prey. Oh my god.
You were close. He was
I
close.
considered it several times.
Imagine if you watched Birds of Prey just for that one cameo. How pissed would you have been?
I watched 10 seasons of Smallville for a 4-minute scene, and it was more than worth it. I felt very, very happy with myself. I watched Superman Returns. I caught up all the way to Legends. I caught up to Batwoman. I watched all the episodes of Supergirl I needed to watch.
Oh, okay. Interesting. And yet you didn't watch Lucifer. Is there a reason for that, Jackson?
Wasn't
there a reason
really.
for that?
Didn't
Jackson
really
doesn't
play
really
it.
like beautiful bad
Really?
shows. Jackson doesn't
Really?
like
It's on the CW. It's on the CW.
I mean, now there's Superman Returns.
Got
No, but
canceled
that
for a
was a
reason.
movie.
Superman Returns.
Okay, I went into full preparation mode. I spent months preparing for Crisis.
Full preparation mode.
Full
But it seems
preparation
like you kind of left out Lucifer.
I watched a clip on YouTube, and it was fun.
You watched a clip on you. What was the clip, Jackson?
One of the ones with Tom Welling in it, because I like Tom
Oh,
Welling.
really?
Yeah.
You didn't like that scene?
It just didn't do it for me.
It just didn't do it for you. Okay, that's interesting. All right,
Okay.
that's interesting.
Moving on.
Interesting.
Jacob, that show got canceled for a reason. Now let's stop him.
It got renewed. It's on Netflix, and it's
It
fantastic.
didn't get
okay?
renewed. It got
got picked
saved.
up.
It's on Netflix.
Oh my god,
And it's
Netflix put out Daredevil season 2.
You mean Iron Fist season 2?
They put out both seasons of Iron Fist.
Okay. So
Thanks for amazing.
So
You're all
yes,
just
I
wrong.
spent a lot of time. I really wanted to prepare myself for this event
Okay.
because I'm such a big fan of the CW and what they do. So going into this, I was very nervous. I was scared. I thought. Well, also to be fair, me and Colin, and I guess sort of Jacob, we we've been reviewing Titans, and they ended up being in the crossover too. So that was a form of preparation.
Stop. You're gonna give me...
It was torture. It was torturous
We,
preparation
we
to
went
listen
in
to
on
those
this.
shows.
We went in on this, yeah.
Okay, so let's start there because that's where the thing kicks off.
Okay.
With the string of cameos that they had, some of which we knew, some of which we didn't. And they just kind of thrust them in there to open with this cool introductions moment. It's kind of montage. So I guess Jacob, what was your favorite of those? I think there were 4 opening cameo things.
My favorite out of the 4 that they opened it with would have to be Batman 66 with Burt Ward. I think that was my favorite out of all the cameos. Mostly because Titans is trash, so that was already out of there. Mm-hmm. The Tim Burton Batman was kind of cool, but I wasn't really connected to like Alexander Knox. I wasn't like, oh, cool, the reporter. And the fact that they were able to get Burt Ward for this was one of the coolest things. One of the oldest super DC shows and integrated into this multiverse was just really cool to me. So that's definitely my favorite.
Okay, Colin, what was your least favorite?
Titans. Titans. When I saw Hawk, I knew. As soon as I saw that weird face Hawk was making, man, I was like, no. And I was like, thank God it's just Hawk, because if you listen to our reviews, I do like Hawk and Dove. Mm-hmm. But then they brought in Jason Todd as well, and it just made it even worse for me.
Don't you mean Hank and Dawn?
Oh my God! All right, Lucas, did you like that opening montage, and did you have a favorite cameo?
I didn't have a favorite, but I mean, it was very nice tribute to all those shows and movies, and I was kind of surprised that, well, not surprised, but I was kind of like, and it was like whatever for when Titans came on. I mean, but I guess
yeah, we feel the same.
A man of culture.
But I mean, Titans, I'm glad it's gone now because it had potential, but it didn't do very well.
I'm with you. I'm glad it's over. We don't have to watch anymore for a while, so I'm totally fine with that. Okay, so I guess this is going to be hefty. So why don't we just go into the first episode as a whole, and then we'll try to just jump through this because I mean there are 3 and it's going to take a while. So the first episode we bring all the heroes together. Harbinger brings all the heroes together to Earth 38. They're here to make their stand against the Anti-Monitor, and all the stuff go. A bunch of fight scenes, some cool fight scenes. And then at the end is obviously the big moment. But Colin, we'll go to you. What was your favorite? What was your overall thoughts on just the first episode? And I guess we'll get into the ending in a minute.
I thought it was great, actually. Even though it was just kind of like plot, it was just kind of like here's what happened and here's what we got to do. There wasn't a whole lot going on, which I mean happened in episode 2, I guess, as well. But I mean, it was the first episode was fantastic because I mean it's just Stephen Amell's performance as Oliver Queen in that episode. And there's been some great moments on Arrow in season 8 so far, but I think this was by far like his best out of anything I've seen Arrow do. It really stole the show for me.
Yeah, I'm glad they put the tag scene from the last episode of Arrow on there, so people could actually see that scene because it was so well acted by Stephen Amell, like this moment on Leanne Yu. And I was really happy they put that clip at the end of the episode or at the beginning of the episode, just so people were able to see that. Because even if you don't watch Arrow and you were just watching the crossover, you at least got that moment and like saw where Oliver was in his life before everything goes down. So Lucas, what did you think of the first episode?
I thought it was a good episode. It was a little bit of a slow burner for me. Like even though I felt like this whole Supergirl, all the characters with Supergirl that were in the show, like Brainiac 5, he was kind of creepy, but I mean...
Oh, I agree with you. I hate Brainiac.
Like, Brainiac 5 was like I'm sorry to say it, but it was like the weakest point of the episode.
I mean, I'm with you.
So weird.
I went out of my way to watch just the last episode of Supergirl because I knew that the CW always does this with their crossovers, and they didn't do it with episode 2 and 3, sort of a little bit, which I was happy with, but the crossover episodes to the specific shows always lean towards the subplots that are going on in those shows. And so it's like, and then I remember the one Supergirl one from last year in Elseworlds. I was like, what is even going? Who are these people and what is going on? And so this time around, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna watch the last one just to get some sort of idea of what's going on. And I did, and even though I did, it didn't really help that much because they were just going on and on for a few of those scenes with Lena Luthor, and I was like, I'm not liking this stuff. This is kind of out there. But I mean, they tried and they got away with it. They got away from it the next 2 episodes, which I was fine with. But Jacob, we'll go to you. Episode 1.
For episode 1, I liked it. It's my second favorite of the first 2 episodes so far. I'm very happy that they didn't do what they usually do with the crossovers, like you were talking about, Jackson, where they tie it into the subplots of each one. There was little bits here and there of Supergirl where they reference past things, like how they betrayed Lena. I don't know what's going on with that because I don't watch the show. But besides that, it was very just crisis focused, which I thought was great. It also set up the whole big crisis of the crisis is that all these worlds are being destroyed, starting with Supergirl's, including Supergirl's Earth, Earth 38. Am I correct? Is that their designation?
Yes, Earth 38.
Yeah, Earth 38 is gone. Argo's gone. So including Kara's mother. We also got to see. Is this the first instance of John of Superboy?
Yes, this is the first time.
This was his first appearance, right? Because I don't watch Supergirl, so I have no idea
Right.
if he showed up before.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
And so supposedly Superman and Lois Lane are living on Argo to raise their child, and then the antimatter wave is coming in and destroys Argo, and they're saved by the Monitor and Harbinger. Overall I thought it was a great episode. Like Colin was saying, Stephen Amell's performance was great in it. I liked the how all the characters interacted in this. Even like Ray Palmer and Batwoman, they were great together on screen, like just little moments like that. And I think that's where these crossovers really shine, is just the character moments that they all get to have with each other.
I'm with you there, and to jump on the character moment thing, I think the best character moment in the episode was, unfortunately, Oliver Queen's death, which was really out of nowhere. I mean, to be fair, and I think this is something that the producers talked about, was that they've spent all of Arrow Season 8 preparing people for his death. And I guess they were like, well, you shouldn't be all that shocked that he died in the first episode of The Crisis. And like in the moment I was, but as thinking about it, I was like, well, you know what? Like they're kind of right in that aspect where it's like, yeah, they shocked us, but like they've spent an entire season of Arrow like doing a farewell tour. We just weren't paying attention. Right. And we were just like, oh, he'll die in the 5th episode of the crossover, so we have 5 more episodes to not even have to worry about it. But I mean, to be fair, in terms of storytelling, like they were just like, no, let's just do it now. And I think that's been kind of an issue moving forward, but I think this moment specifically really worked, and it was really emotional. I mean, it really shocked me, and like it really, I mean, I was heartbroken for Oliver to have to die like that. And but it was like he got his like Captain America moment where he got to stand up, by himself alone, and save a billion lives, which the Monitor referenced.
We didn't get to see,
which that was cool.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a great heroic moment, and then it just he ended up dying. And it was, I mean, I thought the moment with Barry and Sarah and Mia all there, at least, a good chunk of the people that knew him, that were very close to him being there in that moment, I thought it was really powerful, and I thought it was really well done, and I thought it was, I mean, that's a great episode overall, but that scene in particular. So, what are your thoughts on that last moment?
It really was a great scene, and it just spoke to, it did feel very Captain America, I mean, I would even go as far as say Iron Man, because like that's the hero that started it, but it's like, and I mean, like Grant Gustin didn't do anything really in that scene, but that one single tear, like, could you not just feel that?
Well, you felt it.
Think back to
forward,
Arrow. Was
right,
it season 2 when he first showed up? Was it Arrow?
Right,
season
Arrow
2?
season 2 when he popped up, looking for the vigilante because his mom was killed by a mysterious thing he couldn't understand. So he's now traveling around looking for things, and he runs into Oliver, and he's just a quirky kid running around.
I mean, and you know what? I saw the clip. I can't remember which. I think it was from the first episode of Flash. The very end when he's talking to Oliver about it. And you see Oliver like swing away, and Barry just goes cool, and then Oliver looks back and sees Barry speed away, and he just goes cool. Like I just thought of that right away, and I was like, oh my god, like
it's this genuine friendship that's been going on for 6 years, like for 6 seasons, for 6 years. We've seen these two go do crossovers together, go hang out together, and every year they get closer and closer and closer. And then this time around, he wasn't there to save him. He couldn't do anything about it, and like he just had to watch him die. And like I think it's been really a testament, because I think Grant has done a really good job the next 2 episodes, like playing up the fact that like he doesn't believe that this is what should have happened. And Grant's really, I mean, Barry in terms of the character in general doesn't like people dying for him. He doesn't like people sacrificing himself for them. And I mean, Oliver admits to him that he gave it all up for Kara and Barry last year.
Yeah.
And they didn't know that. They had no idea. And they learn that in that moment, and he's obviously not taking it well. And I think Grant's performance has been really. I think everyone's been kind of elevated with these stakes, but specifically in the first episode, I thought it came out really powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the ending where Oliver was when he was transported to the bunker. I thought that whole moment right before leading up to that was very powerful. Like in terms of like Grant Gustin when he was like screaming like no, like saying Oliver don't die. You know, like I thought that was just you show it like you said it was the 6 years of friendship that all came into towards that moment.
Yeah, completely. It's a great point. And I thought like it was just a really big shock, and I think they pulled kind of an Infinity War on us, where it's like that's how it ends. Like this is it. Like, this is where do we go from here? Like what do we even do? Like this, he's the leader, he's the hero, he's all of it, and it just kind of ended. And it's like well, like I don't know where we go. And then we jump into episode 2, and this is where we learn about the Paragons, and we have to get these Paragons. So. We'll go there, and Colin, we'll start with you this time. Let's just what were your overall thoughts on episode 2, and maybe what was your favorite Paragon moment or specific moment in the episode? Because there was so many different cameos and things going on.
Okay, I'm gonna start it off by saying as beautiful as Oliver's death was, the end episode 1, I feel they ruined some of it in episode 2. But probably my favorite Paragon moment. Probably my favorite moment of all. It's a toss-up, honestly, and I think it's going to be a toss-up between everyone else in here. It's either going to be here in Kevin Conroy, or it's going to be here in the John Williams theme, watching Brandon Routh Superman.
Ooh.
Honestly, am I wrong? Did you guys think
No,
there's a better moment?
Those were both amazing. Those were both awesome. It's tough to say which one's better.
It was like, that's the Batman I know when I heard that. Like, I heard that, and I was like, oh, like, Jesus Christ. I just wasn't expecting, I'm obviously expecting because I knew he was in it. We all did. But it's like, I didn't expect it to be that good here in the Batman voice live action. But
yeah,
I don't know. There was something just different here in the John Williams theme with Brandon Routh.
I love how they introduced Kevin Conroy, this live action Batman. They don't show him first when he speaks, so you just hear the voice, and it's just like,
exactly,
oh my god,
exactly.
It's
that's
Batman.
the moment I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's something I said months ago. I said that months ago. I was like, they need to do it. I think I said I would have him come out of the shadows, but this was just as fine. You needed to hear the voice.
Exactly.
You
God,
you can't
it's
see
Batman.
the man before you hear the voice, because the voice is the thing you're listening for, and then it just hits you, and you're like, oh my god, like that's Batman.
It was just
like,
so
this is Batman.
good. But then also the Brandon Routh, like you were talking about, it was so good. Hearing the theme was just so awesome. Knowing that like his Superman is Christopher Reeve's Superman, and he's the same Superman from Superman Returns, it's crazy how Crisis brought all of this together, and it's all just together in the same multiverse. It's so cool to me. I just love it. It was just the best.
Lucas, what was your favorite part or cameo or whatever?
Well, I agree with what everyone said. Was that Superman Brandon Routh was a real testament of who Superman is. Brandon Routh was that Superman. Like, it makes me think about the movie that he was in. That it was unfortunate it didn't do well, and then also Kevin Conroy. Like, when just hearing his voice alone, it brought back the animated memories of the animated show, and I just thought it was really cool that Batwoman and Batman Kevin Conroy shared some of the best scenes in the episode.
Oh, I totally agree with that. I think that's a great point. I think that the lesson was for the Conroy was for Kate to learn from this Bruce, and it really wasn't about this Bruce. And I think that's good, because I don't think we need to overshadow our the main heroes with these bigger than life people. I think having them in small doses works. Because obviously, people love to see them, but it's like at some point, it's like also Kevin Conroy's not, he's an older man. He's not going to be able to get into fighting shape. He's not going to be able to run around and beat people up. So it's just a testament to what they chose to do with that. But I mean, I'm going to jump on a different one because
we know where you're going. We know where you're going. Do your thing. You watched all the seasons.
It's going to be when Jonah Hex showed up.
That was, I think we can all agree that was the best part.
Cameo.
That was the best part. It just felt very natural. It felt necessary.
You're going to get this car eventually.
I mean, I thought it was
We
so
work
like,
something
but
out.
they usually did it, like most of them did a good job like integrating this person in the world and
Yeah.
like how it's popping up. But he just walked in out of nowhere. I was like, okay, I guess.
Jonah Hex. That's literally it.
Okay, and then so yeah, I'm going with Tom Welling because I watched 10 seasons of Smallville because I knew he's going to be in the crossover, and so I said, okay, I want to feel this emotional resonance when we get to this moment. So I spent 3 months binging 10 seasons of Smallville, and then and then we get and then we get there, and it opens, and I'm like, oh man, like look at him, that's Tom Welling. It's all these years later, and like it's crazy. You know, he looks old, and then they come up and they're trying to recruit him. He might be the Paragon, and then they're whisked away by Lex Luthor, who's here to hunt down the Superman. And I've seen a lot of talk online talking about how like this was like disrespectful to Smallville, and like this moment where it's revealed that Clark doesn't have his powers, he gave them up to have a family with Lois and settle down. But I think that's so like. It's such a small way of thinking. I think it's a really comic book way, like a comic book fan way of thinking. I think it's definitely more nuanced than that. I mean, if you watch 10 seasons of Smallville, you get the point that Clark wanted to be normal and he wanted to have this life, but he had this weight of the world on his shoulders. And I think, you know, for the last 10 years, he was Superman. His destiny was to usher in this new age of heroes. And in my mind, by the end of Smallville, he'd done that, and then there was an entire series of comic books that's canon to this it has Batman and Wonder Woman and Green Lantern and everyone, a giant Justice League and all this stuff, and he brings in this world of heroes, and they go on to do these amazing things, but like at some point he wants to settle down and have a life, and I think it's beautiful, and I think the moment was beautiful, and that I think Tom Welling never wanted to play Superman. He never signed on to play Superman. He only wanted to play Clark Kent. And now he's just Clark Kent. He's just a guy working on his farm. And I think it's a really beautiful way to go out, because I think there was ways it could have been done that would have been cheesy or corny, but I really think this was a beautiful, beautiful moment. And I'm upset that people are disagreeing with that, but you know, to each their own. I just would rather feel better about the moment than harp on it for the rest of the crossover.
See, I don't get that at all. I've been telling you this. I feel like I'm a preacher. I've been telling you this for days on Ed Jackson. But it's like literally 2 other Supermen in this crossover have given up their powers to have a family, and you're not complaining about them. You find me one person that complains about. I mean, I don't know anybody that's ever complained to me about Superman 2. Superman 2, he literally gives up his powers.
No, and
the Superman and Supergirl literally gave up his powers.
And it's unfair because like people were like, well, I didn't get to see this Tom Welling do those things. Dude, who cares? There's the Superman movies, there's animated shows, there's Man of Steel.
Smallville.
There's endless amounts of things you can watch where people where this character is Superman. That wasn't the story they told on Smallville, and it never was going to be. And it's unfair to like tether it to this thing you have in your head where you're like, I need him to fly. I need him to put on the suit, and I need him to save the world. And it's like, yeah, but like, not every character is the same. And like, this is Superman, but it's a different version of Superman. And it's a Superman where he lived his life, and now he saved the world, and now he wants to live at home. And he's turned into his father, who was the best guy on the show, and like this person is this anchor of humanity. And I think it's beautiful, you know, way to end the story, but. You know, people want to harp on their nonsense, and that's fine. But I think it's a lot more nuanced and deeper than that, and you should look at it that way rather than I want to see him fly around in a suit and shoot lasers out of his eyes. But you know, that's just me. But I'll move on. I'll get off my soapbox.
Well, hold on. What's everyone's thoughts on the episode at least? Not just the cameos and everything.
Episode 2 I thought was okay. It wasn't as good as episode 1, but it was still pretty solid. Just because the Brandon Routh and Kevin Conroy moments made up for like any of the weaker points in it.
Okay, I won't disagree. I won't disagree.
I think it bounced around a lot. I think it was a little not all over the place, but like it was a lot to take in. It was moving quickly, and they were picking up pace, and it was like okay. But I still think this episode just like. The nostalgia factor might hit harder for me, so it might be better than episode 1 for me. I don't know. Right. I haven't definitively picked my rankings. I probably won't until the crossover is over.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, but it worked. It definitely worked for me in a lot of ways, and I think it had enough nostalgia like moments for me to come out pleased.
Yeah. Now, episode 3
Okay,
was. I think we can agree that. Are we getting into it?
This is the best one. It's the best one.
It's the best one. It's the best one. It was just.
Is it though?
It was everything that I
Oh
wanted
man, I
Crisis
loved
to
it.
be.
I loved every
It was
second of
so good. Oh my god, dude. All right, where do we start?
it. God, where do we start?
Do we want to talk about the
opening of
cameos?
the
Do we want to talk
episode.
about the story? I think we can all agree that Birds of Prey cameo, guys. My god, that
Totally
listen, I
needed.
thought.
that was
Oracle!
completely
I
necessary.
mean, listen.
Barbara?
I know the actress was
Barbara?
excited to be in it and the whole thing. I thought it was a cool moment. You know,
Yeah.
I like seeing that these people are still active. Like, yeah, their shows are canceled, but in the multiverse, you know,
They're
that
still doing stuff.
These worlds exist, and these people are still running around in our head canon. So I think that's it's cool for the people who watch that show or people who found clips on YouTube or whatever.
People watched that show?
I mean, it only had one season, but I'm sure someone did. Someone in this world watched that show. But I thought that was good, and I think just the scope of the third episode, and I think the stakes really, really hit here. I think they were really on display, and I think it was just balls to the wall, and it was crazy, and it was everything I wanted in an episode of like a Crisis crossover.
Mm-hmm.
And I think,
but I felt the stakes were there, but at the same time I didn't. Like it
Okay,
felt like
why
they
is
were
that?
doing because it felt like they were doing nothing to save the other Earths.
well, I think.
But at the same time, it was also
Yeah.
like it didn't matter that the Earths were like being destroyed. Like it felt like no significant weight. The only one that I felt had any significant weight being destroyed was Earth 38, Kara's Earth.
Right.
Right, and I think that's the difficulty of what we're doing here, because the CW is doing Crisis, and they can only do so much with it, right?
Yeah.
You can only show the sets that you have built, and you can only show the thing, bring the people that you already have emotional connection to make it work. And I think they claim they were running around trying to save people, and I think what kind of worked for me was that moment with Superman, with Kingdom Come Superman, where he comes back and gives that speech about trying to save people and what he's doing.
Well, that's the
and I
best
think,
part of the episode.
right.
That was so
I think that was
Best part of the
amazing.
episode.
Right, and I think that was sort of working for the stakes of me, where he's like, I can't save everyone. Like I'm going out there and it's just not working. Like he can't single handedly stop a wave of antimatter.
Mm-hmm.
He's only. I mean, he's the power of a god, but he's not that powerful. And it just shows like all these heroes are like doing whatever they can, but they are limited to the fact that it's a TV show and there's restrictions and there's only so much you can do.
Yeah.
But I feel like what they had
And
in
they're
terms
doing
of
it
the
better than the
CW,
DCU.
right? But I mean, in
Oh,
terms of the
100%,
CW's Crisis, I think the stakes were working for me at least. Of what was being presented to me.
Yeah. I think we have to discuss our favorite cameos of this episode, guys. I'll go last.
Okay.
You guys go.
Jacob, shut up. No one cares
No,
about
we'll
Lucifer.
talk about Lucifer later.
I'll go last.
No
I'll
one,
go last.
literally no one cares about Lucifer.
Lucas,
I'll
what did
go
you think?
last.
Lucas, what did you think about this? Was this your favorite episode, or did you like another one better?
I think this was my favorite. It's for sure. It had everything. It was very smooth in transitions. The stakes were there, and just the fact that the moment that I felt so much for was Barry Allen when he ran into Earth 90 Barry Allen.
Oh
And,
yeah.
like
That whole
dude,
sequence, yeah.
that whole sequence, like it just reminded me that Barry Allen has kept seeing the image of his father just dying over and over, and it's just like you feel like that he has a toll that's come over on him when he keeps seeing that image just disappearing in front of him. And then
Right, I mean-
Not just that he just looks like him, it's that he's become a
Yeah.
de facto father figure for Barry,
Yeah.
too.
Right. I mean, it's happened 3 times. This guy who looks like his father has become a mentor to him, and it's hard in that way. It's hard to say that a man who looks like your father is sacrificing himself for you, to take your place in this crisis that you've been preparing to die in for years, since the first season of the
Since
show.
season
at
1,
least.
yeah, since season 1.
Right. He's been.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, for most of it, he thought it was much further down the road, but then it ramped up this year, and he was preparing to die in Crisis. And on paper, a lot of people had been having this theory that was, oh, well, Earth 90 Flash can just take his place, and I'm like, oh, well, that will be a stupid bait and switch. I kept
way they
thinking
did
that. I was
it
like, oh,
was
but the
perfect.
way they did it. But the way they
perfect.
did it, where Barry walks in and he says, "Guys, like this is it. I have to. It's time for me to vanish in crisis. This is what I'm meant to do." And the other Barry saying, "I've done this for 30 years. I've been here. I've done that. I've lived my life. And I know this kid has more to give than I do." And he just has this. I mean, I don't even mind the cool ability, that came out of nowhere. I don't even mind it because he said, "Hey, I picked up a trick." I was like, "Cool." And he takes his speed. He runs off in this beautiful moment. They clip back to the '90s show, which I thought worked so well.
Yeah.
The show I never watched, a
was
show I have
perfect.
no connection to, and you felt it, and it was emotional.
Obviously, you didn't prepare enough.
Clearly, I didn't think I'd have to clip back to the '90s show, but they proved me
Like
wrong.
I want to go watch it now though. Like I want to go watch it.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I love John Wesley Shipp on these shows, and I'm incredible. And like, part of me hopes this isn't his last moment, but I think it would be such
God,
a
I
perfect.
hope not.
But it would be such a perfect last moment.
Exactly. He's so great.
If he never came back, it would be the perfect moment. And I think it's just such a testament to the way this show does things, because it's like this is the third version of Henry Allen we've gotten, the doppelganger, the third character John Wesley Shipp has played, but you still feel the weight of the other two onto this Barry, and I think it worked so well. And he takes his place, and when he looked at Barry, he said, "Hey, keep riding the lightning, kid. I know you'll make us all proud." It hurts. It hurts you.
It did.
Because Barry is like, all he wants to do is be the hero, and people are always stepping in to save Barry because Barry doesn't realize that he is the best. Like Oliver says, he's the best of them. And if other people can give up their lives, okay, you, Colin, okay.
You know what's kind of cool? Like, so I was talking to someone at work about the Crisis on Infinite Earths, and he actually watched like the Flash '90s show when it was out. Like, it was like when it actually aired.
You're talking to an old man.
You shit.
Yeah, he was like an old dude. Yeah, he's like I watched this show like when it was like airing, and like he got like kind of like choked up watching the character die in Crisis.
I mean, I'm sure it hit hard for people that watched that. I'm sure.
Like, I
It should
never
have been
watched.
our Barry Allen.
I never watched it, and I got like kind of like choked up. I was like, oh my god, that like hit hard. I couldn't like imagine what it was like for someone to actually watch it and like see like it actually hit hard. It just kind of showed like the stakes that the Crisis had.
See,
Well, I
and
think
but
that's what-
the best
Go
thing
ahead,
is this Barry Allen still could disappear.
No, and you're not wrong. You're not
he's
wrong.
supposed to disappear fighting Reverse Flash.
Yeah.
In this
Right.
crossover on the CW, he
Yeah,
is
what is
like
it?
that's
Flash
what was
vanishes in Crisis.
that was what was
And
said.
I
Is
know,
he's supposed to fight the Reverse
you're right,
Flash?
They've changed the newspaper a couple times, so it says a couple different
Yeah,
things.
exactly.
But we know Reverse Flash is coming back.
And he's in the promo. He's in the promo.
He's in the promo.
I don't mean to spoil
so
it for you guys.
Right,
but he's in the promo.
But he's in the promo, so we know he's coming back. But
Yep.
it's
Tom Cavanaugh,
it's,
boys.
It's so.
Cool.
I think the stakes are so they're there because it's like I didn't believe Barry was gonna die. Of course he's not gonna die. Of course you're gonna
As
keep
soon as
doing
I saw the
Flash.
treadmill,
Oh,
I
yeah.
thought so though.
Right, but
as
of
soon
course
as I saw the
you're
treadmill, I was
gonna
like,
keep doing the
no,
Flash.
no,
Actually,
no,
they had
no,
a cosmic
no, no.
treadmill. I
Right,
can't
but
believe
like
they did the cosmic treadmill.
but going into this season of the Flash, I'm like, of course Barry's not gonna die. Like they keep doing the Flash, and I was like, well, maybe they will have some way to save Oliver. But obviously they did, in a way. But he did die. Like Oliver did die, and I'm like, well, Barry
Yep,
could
Oliver's dead.
disappear, and maybe in the back season of the Flash they find a way to get him back. You know what I mean? They always
It's
do
done,
it.
but they did it before. They did it
Right, they've done it before, but it's
Mm-hmm.
like I did kind of feel the stakes. Like I know it's they're comic books and they'll come back in some way, shape, or form, but the deaths still hit. Deaths still they work in these shows.
Oh, you see
Yeah.
that little Flash symbol just.
Just saying that.
It's
Just
like
laying
it's
there.
like the panel. Yeah, you
Right,
just see the little Flash.
and that's a
It's
character
perfect.
we've only
Wow.
seen once before.
Perfect.
Like that specific character we've seen once before, only briefly. But the way they've set these things up, it just works so well.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think, we can jump from there because in that moment, Black Lightning also makes his crossover debut.
Who was
Oh,
also
he was
fantastic.
awesome in this.
And we also
I
we've
haven't
ignored
watched-
Diggle as well. Who was
Yeah,
also
I haven't
great.
watched Black Lightning. I've seen clips here and there. But dude, that guy commanded the screen when he
Yeah,
walked
Cress
in.
Williams, he's
He was-
awesome.
He
It was nuts.
He was powerful, and he
It
had a
made me
great
want to
moment.
watch his show immediately. That was the
Yeah.
show I came out of this.
Yeah.
Coming out of this, I think that's the show. I'm like, wow, I should really hop onto this and watch
Yeah.
it.
He had a great moment with Barry on the Wave Rider where he was talking to him about the death of his family, and I thought yeah, the dialogue was incredible. Their chemistry was really working as like two. Because when I think about it, I'm like, always in my head, Barry's like the dumb kid, but he's grown up. He's older, and like he can talk to this guy on a human level, and like they can empathize with each other, rather than Barry being the child and Jefferson being the older guy. And I thought it really worked, and I thought it was really good dialogue. I thought they had good chemistry, and I was like, damn, this is a show I might need to watch.
Yeah. It was good. It was really good. Speaking of cameos on this
Jesus.
this episode,
We're not.
We're talking about Lucifer, goddammit.
No, Jake, it served nothing to the plot.
Are you kidding me?
Oh my god.
Are you really? He was going to help them save
they didn't even bring
Oliver's
back.
life.
They didn't even bring him back.
They were going to save. That's not Lucifer's fault.
Serves no purpose.
Lucifer gave him the path. Here, I want to talk. I'm talking about this, okay? Everyone's got to talk about this. Jackson talked about Smallville for goddamn 15 minutes, okay? Give me my chance. This is my time, okay?
Okay, go. Just go.
At least Smallville was cool.
Ever since it was... Okay, shut up.
Smallville got 10 seasons.
Ever since it was revealed...
Lucifer got canceled.
Ever since it was revealed that Lucifer was going to be in the crossover, I have been so hype. I love Lucifer. It's such a good show. It's awesome. I love Tom Ellis. He's fantastic. He's a fantastic actor. And then when the whole, like... Tom Ellis, he did that like thing with E.T. and they're like, I'm not in it, I was just in Vancouver. I was like, that's a damn lie and you know it. Everyone knows it. And when like they went to the Earth and it just flashed Earth 666, I was like, this is amazing. They showed the shot of his penthouse and the way it was so good. I loved his interaction with the character, with me and everything. And I was like, I wasn't sure how this fits into like Lucifer's show because like currently on Lucifer, spoiler alert, he's in hell. He's in hell. Okay, this scene took place 5 years before, and it was really cool to see him like act like he did before the show, before like all of his like character development and all that. It's really cool. And then he was gonna help them save him. Also, I loved his interaction with Constantine.
Whoa! Spoilers. They win in Crisis now.
Shut up.
No, did Earth come back?
Shut up, James.
Spoilers. Jacob,
Shut
spoilers.
up. Shut up. Shut up. And so, shut up. And so, like, I love his interaction with Constantine because they're really cool in the comics together. So I hope we see Constantine and Lucifer. Maybe that would be really dope. But then the reason I bring this up is because it takes us to them finding Oliver in purgatory, which in his mind is Lian Yu because that's his own hell. And this was like what I thought kind of like the weirder parts of the episode and was kind of weaker.
Because, I'm a cop.
Yeah. Like they get there like, Oliver, come back. He's like, oh, I'll come back. No, stop. I'm Jim Corrigan. I was a cop. I'm a Spectre.
I was a cop.
You can't. I was a cop.
That's so funny, dude.
And Oliver's like, I have to go with him. What? All he did was say he's a cop and flash his eyes green.
His eyes.
Like all he did was flash
like
his eyes just lightly flashed green. And Oliver's like, I have to go with him. What?
Oliver's like,
dude, if they had thrown in like a line of dialogue where he was like, Oliver, like it's true. Look at me, like this is what you need to do. I would have been like, okay, I guess a little bit more. But he literally just showed up and was like,
hey, literally just, hey, I'm a cop. I'm
Jim Corrigan. I'm a cop.
Come with me. It'll be all right.
I'm a cop.
He looks at his daughter and one of his best friends. And he's just like,
I can't. Nah, I just can't. Like it's almost like he. Yeah, it's like
but like
really
we'd like assume it was a gut feeling. Like he just like, took it. He just went. I was like, okay, I guess move along the plot.
Here's how I take it. Oliver really didn't want to go back. He's like, all right, cool, I can chill out. I don't gotta worry about it. He was looking for literally
tired of it.
Like he wasn't even nuts when they got there. He was just pretending.
He hated Barry.
He's been hanging out with them for years. He's so
like,
tired
of it. Oh my god, I'm finally done. Like,
didn't want to be Arrow anymore.
He had to pretend to be crazy. And then he's like, all right, guys, let's go. Jim Corrigan. He was looking for any excuse. Jim Corrigan, I'm a cop. Guys, I got to stay. I can't go. He's
wait. I got a question, though.
What am I going to do? What's up?
So do they got to kill Barry's physical body? Oh, wait, no, never mind. They got
Oliver's?
Oh, wait, Oliver's physical body?
It got evaporated.
Wouldn't they have to?
Well, I think it got evaporated.
Well, I know. I mean, like, I'm just talking before.
Before that, though.
Wouldn't they have had to?
Was it just chilling on Earth?
Was it the plan to, like, cremate him? I guess.
Like, what's going to happen with that? No.
I probably would have cremated him or something.
But no, but then when they eventually do like save everything, because you're gonna have to save everything, what happens to the body? Does the body get recreated? What do they do with it?
Here's what I think. Martin Stein died on the Wave Rider 2 crossovers ago.
Okay.
And I'm pretty. I would just have to assume that it has a cremation function. Because it would have been. I don't know what they would have done with his body. But...
Well, that's just a whole rip.
Well, I don't know. It's weird. Everyone's always dying on the Wave Rider.
You know who they should ask about this? Lucifer. Speaking of Lucifer.
Okay, Mr. Lucifer, why was your show so bad it got canceled?
Okay, but then... so let's get into the episode.
Stupid.
Okay, we find out who the Paragons are. Okay, we get all the Paragons. 7 Paragons. They go to get Ryan Choi.
Diggle should have been
That's right, Ryan Choi. We haven't talked about Ryan Choi.
Not John.
I'm excited. Orsic Chow, who was from Supernatural. He played Kevin. I liked him on that show.
Okay. Cool.
He's coming to play Ryan Choi. and he was pretty
The
good.
Atom.
I liked it. I liked his scenes. I thought they were
Yeah, it's
cool.
cool.
I thought he brought like a human element that we didn't have because everyone
Well,
knows
and
like,
now we
'Cause
have
he's
to.
the paragon of humanity.
right. No.
I was like, oh my god, he's like human. Okay.
Okay,
I think it kind of weakens his. I think Luther showing up kind of weakens Chow's point because he's the one guy.
only because Luther is such a genius in his own right. But I think the only way that worked for me was because it's such a Luther move, and he wasn't supposed to be there. So I think it's kind of interesting how they're gonna play around with that.
No,
But I mean, I like that as a Luther moment. Did I like not having Brandon Routh Superman? No, that pissed me off.
I want to
hated
kill
it.
myself
I hated
because
it. I
if
hated it
anybody
so
give it
much.
to John Johns, please. I
But
mean, it wouldn't make
anyone,
sense
literally
for him to
anyone.
cross out him and
You
not
can
Superman.
but-
anyone else.
But that's the point. Like that's the
It
point.
hurt. It hurt me.
Like that's Lex Luthor. That's the point. And like they're
Exactly.
trying to make this a big villain, and I get it and I understand. So
No, I don't
I'll
care.
let it. I'll let it go.
I wanted Brandon Routh
we got 2
Superman,
episodes of
man.
Brandon Routh Superman. And,
I
and
wanted
I'm sure
I wanted more.
He'll be in the. I'm sure he'll be in the last episode, and we'll be fine.
But
Okay.
he didn't get what he deserved in Superman Returns, and this is what he got. And
He better come back and get his own goddamn
they
spin-off
cucked
series.
Brandon Ralph again.
Give
Imagine
him a
that.
movie. Give him everything he
be
wants.
He should be the Superman and Lois.
Ooh, that'd be
should
good.
be.
He
Well,
they don't
no, you
like
can't do that
acknowledge
'cause
I
it.
will
Lois
say the
is dead
problem.
Tyler
is,
Hoechlin's gone.
The problem is Tyler Hoechlin is not a bad Superman. I
No,
honestly
I like
kinda
Tyler
him.
Hoechlin. I
I
He's
like
like
just
him,
Tyler
not
Hoechlin.
Brandon
but
Routh.
Brandon Routh
Kingdom
is so
Come.
good.
He's
That's-
just
I
not
mean, that-
Brandon Routh.
The delivery in that one line itself is
It's
just so
so
amazing.
good. It's so good.
Like I just like that's Superman.
Talking about the crest, just it's about hope. It was just so good. It was
Okay, and then so the Paragons, and then yeah. So I mean, we end. They evaporate Earth 1. They kill all the heroes in a pretty damn hardcore moment where they all like stand up to the Anti-Monitor, and they're all like, "Hey, they're gonna stop you, even though they're gonna die," and they kind of
Yeah,
know
but
it. And
Iris
I'm like,
died, so I'm happy.
okay, buddy. Okay.
You have no
Guys,
idea the
no
joy it
heart.
brought me to finally see Iris die.
Bro,
We all
H.R.
died.
Wells died in season 3 when he got stabbed. He looked like Iris.
Okay,
not
no,
the
but
same.
he didn't deserve that.
H.R. didn't deserve it.
HR was
people
all.
liked
I hated
H.R.
HR.
Wells.
I hated him so much, but then I
Everyone did.
learned to love him, and then they took him from me. They took HR from me in
They
the
took
worst season of Flash, and they
Okay.
they kept the worst character available.
You really take
And
this
then
hard,
I-
my guy.
And then seeing that, man, she deserved to die.
You're taking
Okay.
this really hard.
The HR was a god among men.
Tom, you take
He
this
had
really
the little
hard.
drumstick. He wore a fedora, I think, one time.
He did have a
He
fedora.
got
Oh my
coffee.
god.
He would get coffee for him.
He wanted to open a museum. That was
He
his whole
loved his
thing.
coffee.
He
He
did. He
loved his
wanted the
coffee.
museum. He wanted to make money for the
He
Flash.
loved his coffee.
Iris
All right,
just
all
wants
right.
to be the Flash.
Because
We are the
HR
Flash.
should have been in the crossover, not Iris.
Okay. Fucking rein this in. So Lucas, what did you think about the end of the episode? Did the big moment work for you? The whole explosion and everything.
Yeah, it worked for me when Lex appeared made Brandon Routh's Superman disappear. I thought that was really like you said, it's a very Luther move, but I was very surprised by that because I was like, what the hell? Like,
I mean, yeah,
it was
yeah.
it was
I
it was such
so-
a good
So damn
it
angry.
was such a good
At first I was
moment.
kind of confused what was happening.
And then the one thing that I was just very concerned about was Hank Haywood. How come? Wait, no, John Jones. How come we haven't seen Martian Manhunter the whole crossover? Like, it's CGI.
Yeah,
but
like, sure it's
wouldn't
money.
he want
It's
to
money.
be?
But
Like, I'm just saying, wouldn't he
It's
want to be in his
money.
like natural form? He doesn't have to look like an alien.
it
like a
is
human in
cheaper,
this
but it
at all.
would have been nice to see it.
But
it's cheaper.
It's cheaper. It's cheaper, and the
make any
character's
sense.
completely CGI. The character's totally the.
I don't really like the CGI.
I'm sure we'll
for
see it
John
in the
Jones
next episode. I'm sure we'll see him fully fight in the next episode.
anyway. Do you think they're gonna fight in 4? I honestly don't.
Well, I think it's gonna be a lot of origin
I think
stuff.
it's gonna be
I
40
think there's
minutes
a
of
fight.
Anti-Monitor origin.
I think there's gonna be at least one fight. There's got to be some like Shadow Hunter fight, or they're
We gotta
fighting
get
some
something.
monsters
We get
or something.
something.
Little something. But
We're gonna see Oliver doing Spectre stuff. I can't wait to see Oliver as the Spectre. That's gonna be so cool. I'm really looking forward to that.
okay,
He's
I
gonna
do
show
want
him,
to talk about one.
I'm a
standout, though,
vigilante.
and I want to give some
Stop.
respect.
No.
I think
Okay, what's up?
the crossover has done the Supergirl and Batwoman thing really, really well.
It's really
Because
good.
I think
that's
this
been great.
I think this could have easily not worked because they're trying to like usher them in as the new Barry and Oliver.
And people, and you know how people get about being woke in
right?
question marks.
You know, blah blah blah. Yeah, and I get it, but like both of those shows, I will give her. Well, Batwoman for sure is never over the head with that kind of stuff. Supergirl's a little more over the head with it, but the character of Supergirl I really like. I love Melissa Benoist, and Ruby Rose is like,
And her suit looks so much better.
but both of their suits look really
With the
good.
pants.
They're both like acting
They look
really
awesome.
well, and they're like the tension in that one moment when they were about to square off. I thought was so good. Like it was
It felt like Batman Superman to me.
it felt like Batman. It felt like
felt like
literally
Batman,
Batman and Superman were about to take on each other, and I was like, "Oh, this is actually really dope." And like they did the kryptonite thing, and I thought they did it really well enough where they explained it, and it wasn't like stupid, just to like do a comic thing. But like I thought, oh man, like it's working. And like I've been watching Batwoman, like I caught up before, and I'm like I'm really down with Batwoman, and I think I'm really down to see them continue their relationship in future crossovers.
You know, that trailer for Batwoman wasn't like the best trailer, but then when
No, their marketing was horrible.
oh yeah, like but then
Yeah.
this crossover, I was very impressed with Ruby Rose. I was very impressed with the material
Oh,
she
yeah.
has to do.
Yeah, the show is a lot better than the trailers made it out to be. I understand because I hated the trailers. I thought they were awful. And the pilot was a little rough. But I mean, they all are every time it happens. I mean, maybe the Flash is definitely the best of them all. But I think the show is really solid, and I think Ruby Rose really gets it. I think she really gets it. And I think Melissa Benoist really gets it, and I think they just work really well together. And I think they picked the right two characters to do it, because I think it could have gone wrong, but I think they chose well. So those are my final thoughts. So we got any more final thoughts before we wrap this up, boys?
I think we covered
It's
most
been great.
of what we want to talk about.
It's better. It's
Lucifer.
better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, we talked about Lucifer,
And I expected a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I'm more than satisfied. I think that's fair. I think for the first three, I think for going into the break, I think the cliffhanger was big, but I don't think it was over the top.
No, it was manageable. You know,
Right, it's
you
manageable.
have to wait a
Right.
month, but it's like I'm not like
Right, but had they
oh my god,
had
oh
they,
my god, oh my god.
right, had they killed Barry, had they done all these because they knew it was a month and they knew people were going to be having to wait. So like having
Yeah.
a giant moment, like an Infinity War level moment,
you
like
lose
that's
interest
like
almost. You
it's
push
a
people away.
month. It's a TV show. It's a different animal. It doesn't really work the same. But this is like no. It's like okay, 1 month. How are they going to figure it out, guys? You know, that kind of thing. And I think it's a very interesting pairing of the 7 people they have. I think there's some good moments to be had with those characters. So we'll just have to see where it goes. But
Yeah.
all right, so I guess we'll wrap it up there. Colin, where can they find you on social media?
You can find me on Twitter at Colin Stetzner
Lucas,
and
where
at
can
Full
they?
Circle Cine.
Yep, yes. Lucas, where can they follow you on Twitter?
You can find me on Twitter at Lucas_Talbot.
There we go. Jacob, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at JacobCamp13.
Okay, and you can follow me at Jackson8067. Make sure to follow the page, like Colin said, at Full Circle Cine on Twitter, FullCircleCinema.com. Make sure to like and subscribe. Comment if you have your thoughts on the crisis. I'd love to interact with some people who have their own opinions on it. I'm hoping you guys feel the same about Tom Welling, and if not, I will argue with you in the comments. Okay.
And if you hate my voice, I wrote a review of episode 1. So read it.
there we
And
go.
if you want to talk about how the Lucifer scene was great, let us know. Let us
Okay,
know you want to hear
we'll
more
be
about
back.
Lucifer.
We'll be back.
Wait,
January.
are we gonna see
Yeah.
John Diggle as John Stewart, the Green Lantern?
I'm
What do
scared
you
that
think?
we
No way.
I'm
No
scared
way.
that we won't now. I thought if
What
we
are
would
you
have, it
thinking?
would have happened.
They
It
should have
would've
made him
happened.
They should have made him a Paragon, and he should have been a Green Lantern.
All right, that was sick.
yeah,
All
I'm
right,
scared.
we'll save this for the next podcast.
Because I'm scared that they won't. I'm just scared that they won't. Okay.
Nope, they just gave us that thing last crossover.
Yeah, they
You're
talk.
like,
Yeah,
"No,
I know.
screw
I
it."
know. They literally went out of their way to do it last year. Okay. But yeah, we'll be back after January 14th, probably 16th, 17th we'll get up the review of the second part and the final. We'll try to get everybody back and we'll see what kind of crew we get, but we'll be back then. So we'll catch you guys later.